Emmanuel pledges educational training and investment opportunities for Akwa Ibom youths if voted into power. Traditional rulers in Akwa Ibom attend INEC organized summit on peaceful elections. AKBC board heaps encomiums on Pastor Preto Kun and Elsie Udofia on their elevation. Details of these and other stories in just a moment. Good afternoon and welcome to AKBC 45 News. I am Jeffrey Orok. The PDP gubernatorial flag bearer in Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Domi, says Akwa Ibom people should expect massive educational training and investment opportunities that will attract investors and provide jobs for Akwa Ibom youths. Mr. Manuel, who was speaking on AKBC 45's Center Point, hosted by James Edit, said, with the infrastructural foundation laid by Chief Godswill Akpabio, the next focus will be on industrialization that will lead to sustainable development. Oduarekong tells us more.
Pledging to build on the existing blueprint executed by Governor Godswill Akpabio, Mr. Domi Manuel said he believes his sustainable development goal and superior performance stance will take Akwa Ibom State to greater heights. He described the state governor, Chief Godswill Akpabio, as a gift of God to the state, whose transformational leadership has turned around the fortunes of Akwa Ibom and the mindset of Nigerians.
Whether anybody believes it or not, I'm sitting here to speak life to Akwa Ibom people, that Godswill Akpabio is a gift of God to this state. He turned around things. He turned around the mindset of people. My brother, I've gone around this country. I'm not one of those that just sit there in one place. From the north to the west to the east to the south, I've gone around Nigeria. I've gone around the whole world. I know what was the mindset of people about Akwa Ibom people. Yeah. I know the way people used to take us. I know even when we were in the university, how people used to take us. We were not given a chance. But today, anywhere you enter, once they hear you answer Udom, Akwa Ibom man, uncommon, this, that. And they are not saying so in a mockery. They are saying so in appreciation of God raising a leader, of God raising the next generation of Akwa Ibom people, of God raising a state that will be a shining star in Africa. So, things have changed. And when people just say these things, we just ignore them because, you see, that's not what we're going to. And finally, too, if you see the way Udom Emmanuel plays politics, or Godswill Akpabio, we don't attack people. We are focused on the people we want to serve.
Mr. Manuel urged aggrieved members of the PDP, particularly the G22, to respect leadership and authority by exhibiting the spirit of sportsmanship in accepting the wishes of the majority of delegates during last month's gubernatorial primaries of the party. The PDP candidate said he would soon make public his 5 agenda that is focused on consolidating the dividends of democracy provided by the current administration, with emphasis on support to small and medium-scale enterprises.
Want to create a society. What will make me very happy is that today, if unemployment rate is X%, please, after every year, take me on it. What percentage have you been able to reduce that unemployment? That's what will make me happy. If, as at the time I'm entering, I met X number of people who were trekking, who did not have a house, as I'm leaving, how many of them have we been able to create a world without they begging? Mind my word, without those people begging. We want people to earn a living. We want to create a society that there will be peace, that people will live well, we create wealth, and so on. So mark my word. Or if I enter office today, and I tell you this was our pass rate in JAMB, and then after every year, I don't give you a progress report, that if our pass rate this year was 50, next year we should be able to graduate it to either 55 or 60. We need to move it to a certain comfort level that everybody will say, yes, this is an A score. And that's what we're about. That's what this whole story is all about. It's not about, who rides on the back of God's will or not. But to say it, every Nigerian today will appreciate Godswill Akpabio's endorsement. Okay. He's a transformational leader.
Pledging to complete outstanding project if elected governor, Mr. Manuel assured Akwa Ibom people of his sincerity in providing service to all and called on every qualified voter to ensure they file out to vote for the PDP in next month's polls. Uduakekong reporting.
Thousands of youths under the umbrella of Coalition of Youth Leaders in the state have embarked on victory march for the PDP flag bearer, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, for next month's election. The Coalition of Youth Leaders is a body that is committed to mobilizing support for the People's Democratic Party candidates across the 31 local government areas of the state. The victory march, which was declared open by the PDP House of Assembly candidate Nona Utuekun Sesien, kicked off at Sacred Heart Catholic Church at Kaitino through Akwa Ibom Consolidation Alliance along Sikadwo, Ibom Plaza, and terminated at the PDP State Secretariat along Ididapad Avenue.
I declare this victory march open in the name of God the Father, Amen. God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. God bless you.
Addressing the youth, the international president of Akwa Ibom Consolidation Alliance, Pastor Andrew Wanta, appreciated the youth for their cooperation and advised them to mobilize support at the grassroots for the PDP. Pastor Wanta urged the youth to shun violence in the forthcoming general elections and promised to communicate the activities to the Board of Trustees and Udom Emmanuel Campaign Organization. In an interview, the international coordinator of Coalition of Youth Leaders, Mr. Ubong Essien, expressed his organization's commitment to support Udom Emmanuel and all PDP candidates. Mr. Essien hinted that they embarked on the march as their contribution to support Udom's projects. The League of Akwa Ibom professionals have thrown their weight behind the People's Democratic Party candidates in the state in the next month's election, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, and the choice of Mr. Moses Epo as the deputy governor candidate. This was contained in a statement signed by the state chairman of the body, Comrade Mboli Demafia. The statement, which described the two of them as professionals and achievers, asked that their tenure will bring more dividends of democracy to the people, as well as sustain the tempo and rhythm of uncommon transformation that the state is currently witnessing. The body also calls on all to shun violence and embrace peace, especially during and after the general elections. As part of its mandate to conduct free, fair, and credible elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is holding a 2-day summit on peaceful elections for traditional rulers in the state. The summit, which sought to educate members of the traditional institution on the electoral process, took place at Monte Suite, Edelapan Avenue. Eyalanopo reports.
Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is a body saddled with the responsibility of conducting a free and fair elections in Nigeria. As part of measures to fulfill this obligation, INEC in the state gathered traditional rulers who can easily reach their subject to brainstorm on ways of having a violence-free elections on February. In a keynote address at the event, the chairman on the occasion, Barrister Austin Okoje, said the summit is to brainstorm on measures of getting free, fair, credible, and violence-free elections in the country at large and the state in particular. Barrister Okoje assured that INEC is committed to conducting a free elections and called on stakeholders and the electorate to join hands with INEC for a fruitful result during the February polls.
The role as traditional rulers in helping this country to have free, fair, credible, and peaceful general elections in 2015. The upcoming elections are barely a month away, and as should be expected, the political space is already at work with activities as politicians position themselves for contestation over political offices.
The head of operations, INEC in the state, Mr. Michael Ode, who spoke on the distribution of permanent voters' card, said out of 1,468,780 permanent voters' card that was sent to the state, 1,777,910 have been distributed, while 284,915 cards are still not collected by owners. Given the breakdown of the distribution in all the local government areas, Mr. Ode said in Uyo, for instance, out of 121,625 cards that is available, 24,133 has been distributed, while 47,491 is not yet collected.
That distribution took place in all the 2,982 polling units in Akwa Ibom State in the first instance. And during the continuous voter registration, which took place on the 28th through 3rd June of the same year, we made use of that opportunity again to launch back to the field to distribute the permanent voters cards, this time at the ROA or ward level. And we did that in all the 329 registration areas or wards in Akwa Ibom State.
In another lecture on the card reader technology by the head of department ICT, Mr. Pius Nwankwo, the card reader technology is for voters' authentication during accreditation, dictating electoral fraud, and can easily detect fingerprints of voters because of the numbers in the permanent voters card. Some traditional rulers during the interactive session suggested ways of discouraging rigging in February polls.
I think the chairman of the INEC, also Gigant Administrator, and we really appreciated his efforts and what he's doing. It's a difficult job, but he had tried. One thing is, in the Bible, Christ had 12 disciples, only 12, and one of them was a traitor.
We are nullified. I need to ask the question: if the numerical strength of all the voters you are now showcasing to us here represent, but to find solution, especially on the distribution, how are we going to get this card to the people? Because myself, I don't have card. I've been waiting.
Iyaginop reporting.
The state government is planning a special life enhancing program for widows of the fallen heroes. Speaking in an AKBC special program, the state chairman of the Nigerian Legion, retired Colonel Linus Eyodo, and stakeholder retired Captain Friday Tinton, said there are more than 3,000 widows of the fallen heroes, that there are plans on ground to alleviate their challenges through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare. They commended the state government for a robust relationship with the Nigerian Legion, saying that such relationship has enhanced the living condition and status of members of the Legion in the society. The Legionnaires urge other states to emulate the Akwa Ibom State example.
There should be no fighting during the election. Nobody should fight, nobody should carry gun. We don't want anybody to die because we have witnessed what is called gun. We know gun, what it is. Like what is happening at Borno State. It did not come here.
Fighting with each other, they should work together. They should be in harmony with each other. They should come out and witness what it means to have these members there at the Senate.
This is AKBC 45 News. More news after the break.
Udom Gabriel Emmanuel is elected as the flag bearer of PDP for the gubernatorial election come 2015. By the grace of the Almighty, I
hereby give you the flag of the PDP, Udom Emmanuel, to fly this in Akwa Ibom State, to come back as the governor under PDP, our flag. Thank you. May God bless you and give you good success.
Udom is right and fast. For Udom is the best. For Akwa Ibom said, Udom is right and fair. Behold our next governor.
It's so good to be back. Staff of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation are counting their blessings following the appointment and swearing in of Pastor Praise Okun as the permanent secretary in the State Civil Service. Pastor Praise, until his appointment, was the Director General of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. The swearing in was followed by a reception in his honor where guests were entertained. Patience John was at the reception for the following report.
As at noon, guests, family members, friends, and staff of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation were seated at the venue of the reception, awaiting the arrival of the new permanent secretary, Pastor Praise Okun. Arriving the venue, Pastor Praise, accompanied by his wife Unyeme, was greeted with shouts of joy from members of the AKBC family. Several speakers, including the newly appointed Acting Director General of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Mrs. Elsie Udofia, representative of the AKBC Board of Directors, Engineer Donson Philip, the Director News and Current Affairs, Comfort Umana, Mr. Innocent Ekbo of Ikoretugudo Village in Abak Local Government, Friday Achibong, and Pastor Eyofuki on behalf of unions in AKBC, thanked God for elevating Pastor Praise Okun. They also commended Governor Akpabio for the appointment and prayed for God's guidance as he steps into the new office.
Today, a new door, a bigger one, has been opened because he has looked favorably on AKBC. So we really want to thank God for this day and for his life. And we say, sir, we wish you well in your new office, and we know you have gone there and you are going there to save the state.
Equally most delighted once again that it is in my era as the only surviving board member in AKBC. My Director General has been elevated to the position of a permanent secretary.
Pastor Praise Okun has been the first person that God has used to break that jinx. And we believe God that he is going to shine.
It is as a result of hard work and dedication so far, and his humility that must have brought him to this level.
On behalf of myself and the good people of Toro Clan and Abak Local Government, we congratulate our dear brother.
By the reason of this promotion, we say God thank you.
The newly appointed permanent secretary, Pastor Praise Okun, thanked God for the uplift, the governor for his magnanimity in appointing him, and the management and staff of AKBC for the support given to him as the Director General. He also congratulated the Acting Director General of the corporation, Mrs. Elsie Udofia, and called on all to encourage her to succeed.
I thank His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Chief God's will, Obot Akpabio. So I thank the board and the management of AKBC who have stood together with us and by us. Had announced, he announced it openly, that the most senior director in AKBC, who is Mrs. Elsie Udofia,
was proposed for the well-being and success of the new permanent secretary, Pastor Praise Okun. Patience John reporting.
The Board of Directors of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation has congratulated the former Director General of the corporation, Pastor Prince Okun, on his appointment as a Permanent Secretary in the Akwa Ibom State Civil Service. A statement signed by Engineer Idonset Philip describes the appointment as a reward for hard work, integrity and loyalty to the government, as well as an honor to the EKBC family. The board also congratulated Mrs. Elsie Udofia on her appointment as the new acting Director General of EKBC and prayed God to lead her aright in her new calling. Members of the University of Uyo community converged on the Onyema Ogochukwu Auditorium town campus to thank God for His mercies, love and faithfulness upon the university in 2014 and to seek the face of God in the new year. Members of Uyo community were led to the Thanksgiving by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Kamfodepo. The report of the Thanksgiving is presented in our studio.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Comfort Ekpo, remarked that 2014 was a very fruitful year for the University of Uyo, evident in uncommon feats recorded in the institution. Such feats, according to the Vice Chancellor, included the successful hosting of comprehensive accreditation visitations to 74 academic programs, hosting of the 19th and 20th convocation ceremonies, and movement of the seat of administration to the main campus of the university. Professor Ekpo was optimistic that 2015 would bring even more blessings to the university in terms of infrastructural development.
And then along with that movement came this massive accreditation. Then came the unusual convocation because we never had it 2 days before. Since we had accumulated number of students, we needed to have that convocation in 2 days. All of this. Traveling up and down the whole place, God has been so faithful. And above all, the year 2014 was a very fruitful year.
Declaring the purpose of the 2015 New Year interdenominational and Thanksgiving service, the registrar, Mrs. Edagomondak, said it was customary for the university to gather every new year to appreciate God for His numerous blessings and favors upon the university in the previous year and to seek His face in the new year. Mrs. Umondak further explained that the Thanksgiving service was being held to strengthen the corporate faith in God as a cardinal core value of the institution, assuring that God had not been unmindful of the affairs of the university.
Give Him all the praise and all the glory, for He has been with us, and He is still with us and will continue to be with us until His perfect day. We are familiar with this great event. It is not new in this establishment that we do gather on a day set aside like this early in January to praise and return thanks unto the Lord.
In his message titled Expensive Assumption, the founder and president of Reina's Bible Church, Uyo, Bishop Akan Weeks, charged members of the university not to begin the new year on assumption, assuming to be what they were not, but should seek God and walk with Him.
You must examine yourself. As I go to church, after church, what do you do at home? How do you behave? Because God might have left you without knowing that you were alone. No little wonder that when we pray and scream, it's as if God has abandoned us. Because we live in a false assumption that God must be here because of the structure. God must be here because of things that we put in place. God must be here. What attracts God is the character of a man.
A renowned professor of sciences, Efanga James Osoa, on Sunday gathered family members, friends, professional associates, members of the political class and academia, as well as faithful of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria for a Thanksgiving that day. Professor Oswai, former Vice Chancellor of Obong University, Obongtak, in the Timepo local government area, used a Thanksgiving service to present and launch a 188-page book titled The Servant Leader, written by him. Most Reverend Emelo Karis will preach at the service so that serving God brings generous benefits to individuals. Reverend Okaris advised Christians, especially the youth, to be more diligent and consistent in their relationship with God, as good relationship with God fosters spiritual growth.
It's a good day for we who trade in hope as we gather to specifically thank God on behalf of one of our most distinguished sons, elder, professor of professors, teacher of teachers, a faithful and loving husband, and a caring and loving father and grandfather, His Royal Highness, Elder Professor Efanga James Iswa. Can we give a glass of praise?
The celebrator, Professor Efanga, thanked God for seeing him through stages of life and making it possible to celebrate his 80th birthday in good health.
Move right with me. I want to thank God. Today I'm 80. I thank God. I am 80. I am 80. I am
80. Others who spoke, including Senator Enam, urged youth to live a transparent and exemplary life, to live long. At the reception, the celebrator cut his cake in company of his wife, Obonwan Elizabeth Oswa, his first son, Engineer Mfon Oswa, and grandchildren.
Please, a round of applause for me.
A sensitization workshop on non-violence during and after the 2015 general elections has been held in Abuja. A report on these and others on the foreign scene compiled by Chris Nkang is here by Mercy Ekare.
The workshop was organized in a bid to forestall the violence such as engulfed the country after the 2011 general elections. The 14 presidential candidates in the country, including Dr. Goodluck Jonathan of the ruling party PDP and the All Progressives Congress APC's candidate Muhammadu Buhari, were present at the workshop.
They make provocative statements very inflammatory, statements as if you want to divide the country. This has never helped, because as leaders at that level, you have your subject, you have your followers, and you want to make these provocative statements. Indirectly, you are instigating them to become extremely violent.
The events were former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan and the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahi Rujega. Each presidential candidate at the end of the workshop signed a political accord of non-violence ahead of the February 2015 polls. The Senate of the Federal Republic resumed plenary on Tuesday with the Senate President David Mark assuring Nigerians that the Petroleum Industry Bill will soon be passed into law. When passed, the bill will have profound impact on Nigeria's economy. Concerning the nation's polity, Senator Mark said he was certain that Nigeria would not disintegrate after the February elections. The Senate President also appealed to the political class to support the Independent National Electoral Commission so that the country can achieve free, fair, transparent, and credible elections. In the United States of America, President Barack Obama has stressed the need for toughened laws on cybersecurity and has unveiled a proposal by the White House to revive cybersecurity legislation stalled for some years.
We saw the hack of a military Twitter account and YouTube channel. No military operations were impacted, So far, it appears that no classified information was released, but the investigation is ongoing, and it's a reminder that cyber threats are an urgent and growing danger.
President Giorgio Napolitano has resigned, setting the stage for the election of a new head of state. The 89-year-old had announced in December 2014 that he will be leaving office well before the end of his term in 2020 because of his advancing age. He was persuaded in 2013 to stay on for an unprecedented second term after deadlocked elections sparked a political crisis in Eurozone's third largest economy. The Italian parliament now has to meet within 15 days, along with 58 regional deputies, to begin elections to choose a new president. Giorgio Napolitano, the 11th president of Italy, had occupied the office from 15 May 2006 to January 14, 2015.
You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And now to end the news, the main point again. The PDP gubernatorial flag bearer in Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Domi Manjo, has promised a massive educational training and investment opportunities for Akwa Ibom youths if voted into power in this year's election. Mr. Domi Manjo made the promise in an AKBC 45 program Center Point. He also brought you a report that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has organized a summit on peaceful elections for traditional rulers in the state. That's it on the news. It's my pleasure to thank you for watching. I'm Jeffrey Orok.